Hey, what's up, everybody? I don't know why this is in vertical only. It would not let me change it. Let me mess with the settings right now and see if there's a way. I don't. Has anyone else, Kaylin? Thank goodness you're in here. I know you live stream all the time. Are you still able to live stream horizontally, or has YouTube went to vertical only? Because I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Looks like, hang on. That's for the chat. No. Can I not turn on? This is awesome. Huh. Hey, what's up, everybody? Filtering in now. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up or down. Either way is fine. Just give Google their feedback. I don't know how to change my chat now either. Let me see. What's this? Nope. I can start a poll. It obviously I can't change it to horizontal, which is what I was trying to do. That's how I was trying to live stream this, was the classic way, horizontally. Are you having the same issue, Kaylin, or is it just something I'm doing wrong? Because I went back in the settings before I started this and went through everything again just to make sure, and I can't fix it. What is this? Oh, no, stop that. Okay, I don't want to do a highlight. Hey, what's going on? I'm just going to call you Tacos Girl. Let me... I don't know, man. It's so much harder because I really don't have... There's not enough room with it the way it's set up right now. Just come on. Alright, I should have texted Dan, seeing if I could get him in here for a change. Oh, come on. Alright, I'm just going to have to start throwing stuff out of the way. Alright. I'm just trying to back the camera up some more just so we can get a little bit more into frame. But it's not enough. Alright, my camera's crooked now too. Awesome. What in the world happened? There we go. That's pretty straight. But my tripod's all messed up now. Also, I wasn't expecting to have this issue, that's for sure. Alright. Okay, I did not see if Kaylin answered or not. Okay, Kaylin. Change your orientation on the right side of the screen before you go live. I did that. I did that. And then it forced me, whenever I hit start live stream, it said rotate your screen to start live stream. So I don't know why it's forcing me to do that. Let me grab my other phone here real quick and Google this just to see. Why is live stream in vertical? Okay, why has YouTube forced me to live stream vertical? Why has there been more vertical phone format streams lately? Okay. Explained. What's with the new YouTube vertical portrait mode? Most trick is method. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into this more because honestly, I didn't think that I was going to get my electricity fixed. Let me go grab this and show you guys. Where's the stuff? That's trash, dude. I said take it outside and give it to the animals stuck in the yard. Okay, so this is why I didn't have power. Let me tilt this down some. Quite frankly, I'm lucky to still have a house. I mean, I think that was 2 wire nuts, or maybe it was just one. I can't actually tell. Now, focus. There's too much going on in the background. There. But that's what had to be cut off, which I mean, I cut a lot more off too. But, I mean, I can't believe this. My entire house is going to have to be gone through in detail because the guy that I got this house for, that I bought this house from, which he passed away before I bought this house, I ended up buying it from their daughter, had went through and made quite a few changes in this house, and he obviously lacked the skills necessary to be making the changes that he made. I mean, it was just all melted together, and like, it's crazy. This is crazy. But this is why I didn't have electricity, right here. And it's finally been fixed, so here we are. Oh, looks like Spicy Tuna Rolls had a birthday this week. Happy belated birthday to Spicy Tuna Rolls. This looks... Cliff's is the 9th, so we got to be coming up on that. What are we, a week away-ish? Today's the 3rd, yep, pretty much a week away. Who we asking how old they are? Oh, Spicy, we're the same age, more or less. Well, a year different. All right, so let me just start off. Hang on, I got a package I want to open up too. I forgot to get that. I really should have opened this up before now, but here we are. I've had this for like a couple weeks. I really wish I could back this camera up some more, man. This sucks pretty bad. And I was going to try to do a dual live stream, do one over on TikTok at the same time tonight. I've got to get a double phone holder. I know they make them, but I'm going to have to figure out a new setup and start trying to do some stuff over there. All right, well, I've had this for probably a week and a half. I don't know, maybe a couple weeks. I'm not real sure. Somebody took care to wrap it up pretty good, though. I will say that. There's just not enough camera here. Let me put that there. Yeah, they definitely did a good job wrapping it up. Okay. It's a pretty good box for shipping here. Don't know how it opens. Huh. I do not know how to open this. I guess maybe, no. Yeah, here we go. Well, no. Oh, okay. That's weird. Not what I thought, but oh man, the packing peanuts. Yeesh. Okay. What that's about. Anyway, we gotta say Ration Cold Weather here. And it's a Rafco. There's a bunch of baggies in there. That's weird. Alright, packing peanuts galore. Let me get this box out of the way. Oh, come on. Trying to do it one-handed, wasn't working. Alright. Oh, guess I left some peanuts. All right. So I did want to check this before now. I just hadn't got around to it. It's the more soft type plastic instead of being that really stiff stuff that a lot of times ends up drying out and breaking. This is menu number 3. There we go. Ration Cold Weather. Obviously, 1 year only that they produced these. 1989 from Rafco is what I mean. They made Ration Cold Weathers for, what, about 10 years? 89 to 98. Yeah. Maybe even up to 99. So it might have been 11 years. But this is the first version of the Ration Cold Weather. And there are differences, if you guys don't know. A lot of people probably do. But what makes these extremely unique, in my personal opinion, or, well, it's not just a personal opinion, it's a matter of fact. They are bars, as you can see. Scalloped potatoes with pork, and they are bars / slices. So they made it into a square, or maybe a rectangle, and then they sliced the freeze-dried product, and it was more or less in a compacted rectangle whenever they sliced it. This is the only time that you will see these. There was a I can't remember what that was that he had. Steve had a it was like a prototype group meal. I can't remember what it was called, but it seems to me like, if I remember correctly, that it had the bars / slices in it. And the other thing that's unique about these that everybody raves over is the fruit soup. It is what it is. This has the brownie in it. That's a bummer. Doesn't have the chocolate covered oatmeal cookie. Depending on what kind of condition it's in, I would like to get my hands on a good chocolate covered brownie. All the ones I've ever had were not that great. I've had one that was, well, the most edible that I've ever had, and it was extremely bland. nothing really notable about the taste of it. It was just edible. I mean, more or less, it was just edible. And the chocolate covered oatmeal cookies are 100 times better, obviously. But this comes with the granola bar and the oatmeal cookie bar, the compressed versions of that. Then this one has fig bars instead of the blueberry bars, because they put blueberry bars in these as well. I don't think they did that any other year as well. So there are a few unique characteristics to the first year of the Ration Cold Weathers outside of the bars, the mains that were cut into bars or slices. And that's the coolest thing about this. And I think they should have continued doing that, because if you didn't want to eat this entire thing, you just take a couple slices out, wrap it up in something that's going to keep it airtight, and you can eat it later. It's so simple to change your portion size just by taking out a couple slices. I really, really like the idea of making slices, and I think that's something that we should go back to doing today with our freeze-dried food, is making it in portion slices like that. I mean, I think that's a kind of a common sense thing, really. I don't know why they stopped doing it. I'd like to find out why they stopped doing it. If it was just more costly, labor intensive, what the problem was with doing the bars, because it was a 1 year only thing. We have, well, it says fruit. Okay, so yeah, fig bars. And then candy chocolate bars with toffee. Those are also unique to the Ration Cold Weather. I don't think they came in anything else that I can think of. Not right off the top of my head. This has a beverage base orange, which is a breakfast orange drink. Instant sweet lemon flavored. Wait, tea. Okay, so tea, instant sweetened lemon flavored. And that's it for the second part. Part A has got apple cinnamon oatmeal, nut raisin mix, cocoa beverage powder. We will be having this the first time it snows. This is what we're going to do on a live stream, and maybe even outside. I'll have to turn my Wi-Fi off and see if I get enough 5G signal to stream outside. I think I will. And I almost tonight, because I didn't know that I was going to have power, I thought maybe we could do, I got a huge pile of stuff out there that's got to be burnt, and I was thinking about just having an MRE outside next to a huge bonfire. We should have plenty of light with the bonfire burning, and I've got stuff that I can throw on there after it burns down, some that should keep enough light going, which I got flashlights and other lights and stuff to maybe have enough light, depending on how the low light works when it's in stream mode on YouTube, because the low light camera on this iPhone is amazing. It's the first camera I've ever had that would pick up things in the night sky, which is fantastic. But yeah, so got a Rafco here. You guys know that these things are usually extremely expensive. I would say that this one was moderately priced. I got it for a fair deal, and that's why I got it. I mean, I don't typically overpay for stuff like this. I mean, I think it's crazy to do that, but that's what's driven the prices up beyond reach, really. So many things have gotten so expensive in the ration world, and finding even vintage MREs like this one right here, I've seen prices anywhere from $40 plus shipping, so closer to $50 for one, and I've seen some down to like 20 plus shipping. They've gotten extremely hard to come by and expensive, both at the same time. So let me put this Rafco out of the way. And well, this is right, yeah. So this is a Rafco too. It just doesn't say Rafco. It's a Right Away Foods. Now yesterday I came across these, and I've got one in there getting cold right now. One of these 7-Ups. These 7-Ups are bicentennials. Liberty Bell first rung, July 8th, 1776. And then it's got a big Stars and Stripes banner on the other side. It says United States Bicentennial. 16 fluid ounces, 1 pint. And there is your date, 1975. So that puts this right at 50 years old. I mean, I love this box. I don't think this box is, it might be the correct box that goes along with these. I mean, it could be. I think all of the 7-Ups are the same. But I'm not sure. Yeah. Yep. They're all the same. Cool. And it came with one empty in it. So they didn't have the other full one. Again, stuff like this is kind of expensive, but it's all right. I got 8 of them, and they might be awesome. They might be really good. We'll find out. And then I got some RC. Some RC cola. This is the cola that I grew up with. It was probably, I would say, more prominent around here. Maybe it was that way everywhere, but it just, you know, growing up, I seen a lot of RC. I drank a lot of RC. RC and Pepsi more than Coca-Cola. I was never really a big Coca-Cola fan. But this is a commemorative West Virginia bottle. We're proud to be West Virginians. And there's the date. It was probably produced in 73. Wait a second. Yeah, it was probably produced in 73. I don't know what. Oh, 1863. Okay, sorry. My bad. So what is that? 110 years? Yeah, 110 years. So for some reason they did a commemorative at, well, 111 years? 112 years. I don't know. That's kind of weird. But I thought these bottles were pretty cool. And then I also got these. And these are bicentennials as well. Set at 1976s. They're probably produced in 75 as well. But this is an Ohio State of Presidents. You had Harrison, Hayes, Garfield, Grant, McKinley, Harding, and Taft. All from Ohio. Huh. Cool. This bottle looks like it has never been recycled. I'd say none of them have because of the commemorative nature of them. Look at all the bubbles in that glass. Wild that they would let that get past quality control. Or maybe they didn't care. It almost looks like it, well, that might have just been from rubbing other bottles. But usually you see rub lines like that when they've been recycled. Another West Virginia. Another West Virginia. Does this have... It doesn't have the warning on it. I've got one over here. It's got the warning on it that says right on it that what's contained in it could cause cancer. There's another West Virginia. And another West Virginia. And another Ohio. So we got... What do we got? 3 Ohios and 5 West Virginias. So pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. And got the vintage box that came in over here that's got, the handle on it's a little messed up. Well, a lot messed up. It's ripped off of it. It was ripped already yesterday, but it wasn't off like that. And then today, it's off. It's just stuff on it, okay. Anyway, got 8 of those as well. Pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. And this is the crown jewel that I found yesterday. This is an unopened tin of Prince Albert. If I was to guess, I would say this is probably from the... It's got to be 70s or before, if, you know, just guessing. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but I got to get myself a rolling machine. I cannot wait to try this. My great-great-grandpa and my great-grandpa smoked this, the half and half, and the Lucky Strike. They would buy tins like this, pocket tins, and then they would also have bigger tins all over the house. The house was covered with those tins. I don't know if that's just how loose tobacco came was only in tins back then. But they were all over the front porch of that house. It was a screened-in front porch, really long front porch. And I'll never forget that smell. They've torn that house down, but that smell, I can smell it right now. And it smelled a lot like tobacco. But they would use these and refill them with their own tobacco that they cut, dried, and got ready for a cigarette tobacco. Would cut it up and get it ready. So, but they would buy some sometimes. I don't know what I never asked them that. Obviously, it wasn't on my mind back then. But I just remember seeing these tins all over the place, and I know that they grew and cut their own tobacco and refilled these tins and smoked their own tobacco. Drank whiskey every day, my great-grandpa did. Yep. Pretty cool that I didn't realize how rare it is to get to meet and know your great-great-grandpa. And then my great-grandpa was still farming until I was like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 probably. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, so I don't know. I don't think I want to leave this stuff in the background, really. And as far as the 7-Up goes, we're just going to have the 7-Up with the meal. It's in there in the freezer at the moment. Let me get this out of the way for now. Okay. But yeah, I've got to get a cigarette roller. There's the top of the handle. So I'm going to try to at least tape it back on there somehow. Do my best. And we'll have one of these West Virginia RCs sometime in the near future. Okay. Let me look at the chat here in a second. Yeah, I apologize for this vertical mode. I don't know how to fix it, but it's got a little dent. Well, it's got a dent on this side, maybe on both sides actually. It's in pretty daggone good shape though. There's no tax stamp on it. I've got to look into these a little more because I would think that it should have had a tax stamp on it, but it doesn't. Maybe it's on the inside somewhere. Oh, it's got a dent right here too. But I can smell the tobacco in it. So it's not airtight sealed. It's tin sealed, you know. It's got a little bit of play to it. Now, this I believe is a 1985 ham slice. I'm kind of looking forward to the ham slice. I'm a huge fan of the ham slice. Menu number 11, it's got accessory packet A, which is your standard accessory packet that comes in most of them. That's just going to have, it's not going to have anything different or special in it. I'm getting extremely low on vintage MREs. I have been looking. I haven't seen any. Oh, a pipe. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's it. Okay, so my great-great-grandpa would smoke a pipe, a corncob pipe, a lot of times. He would, they probably had a bunch of different pipes, because I remember him being all over the place, and I remember him knocking them out in his hand, like, you know what I mean? Anybody who's ever seen anybody smoke an old pipe like that, especially an old-timer the way they were, they smoked a lot of cigarettes, too. But they smoked their own tobacco, usually. They would buy this stuff. But this stuff I feel like was pretty untainted and uncorrupted back in the day, and now it's just been eaten up by pesticides and chemicals. That's a good idea, though. I think I might. I would assume one of the local liquor stores or something like that would probably have I'd like to just get an old corncob pipe, to be honest. That's what I'd prefer, and I would try it that way for sure. And also, I'd like to roll some up with a roller. Always had a captain's pipe. I don't know what a captain's pipe is. Is that like one of those ones that's got the big curve to it? How do I know Steve? Me and Steve met back in 2016 in person was the first time we met. And then, well, the rest was history. I mean, we stayed best friends for years. Okay, where is my knife? There it is. We're going to go ahead and get this opened up and get the main heating up, and I'll grab that 50-year-old 7-Up while I'm in there. I have got so many vintage MRE bags. I save as much of this stuff as I can for other people's displays and stuff, because I got more than I could ever use. Not one bad smell coming from that thing. Not even a little bit. And this does appear to be an 85, or around 85, because it's got the small box right here. Alright, let's find out what we got. This should be our ham slice. It feels heavy enough to be. Yep. And looks like the 13th day of 1984. So this is an 84. That's probably going to be the one and only date that we find. There might be one other date on something in here. What's this? Well, here's our accessory packet. Very dinky. Look at that thing. It's like there's nothing to it. What is that? Oh, it's probably the matches. That's so weird. I don't think I've had one that flat and tiny before. Look at that thing. There's like nothing to it. Yeah, anyways. Accessory packet A, which has, let me go through the list, coffee, cream substitute sugar, salt, chewing gum, matches, and toilet paper. Pipe would also be a lot easier to use and better to sit back and enjoy the experience. Hang on a second. I'm out. Turn that. Okay, it's already on. My hot water in there. I wanted to make sure it was still on too. Okay. Anyways, back to the chat here. Let's see. Because you can take your time with it. Whereas with a cigarette, you're more utilitarian way to smoke. Yeah, you can relight the pipe and let it go out and stuff. So it does kind of prolong and preserve the tobacco and smoking experience. So yeah, I'm definitely down for trying the pipe out. So there's a good looking spoon. It's got that pearlescence to it. All the ones that came from Gabe, these vintage MREs that he gave me, which were supposed to be I'm out. Make her go on. Alright, sorry about that. I'm back. Anyways, all the ones that I got from Gabe, they had that, like, that pearlescent spoon like that. I don't know, you'll see. What else we got in here? Man, tell me that's not cheese spread. Oh man. Well, there's some cheese spread that might have a date on it. It does not. No, because it's definitely not a 7. There's only, that's weird. Anyway, first generation cheese spread there. Hard as a rock. I love that old classic text though. It's a good look. It's a good looking cheese spread. It's a very displayable piece of military history right there. What else do we got in here? We have, oh, an orange nut cake. Nice. Very good. Packed by Shelf Stable Foods Incorporated out of Evansville, Indiana. All right, all right. What else we got? We have, oh man, millions of peaches. Oh man, they're no good. That sucks. Yep. There's no point in even opening those, actually. They are toast. Ooh, yum. I've been wanting one of these. I'm serious. I've been craving a cocoa beverage powder. I didn't know where to even start looking for one, though, so I hadn't messed with it. And we have the classic crackers that are perfectly sealed. I think these should be salted. They don't feel like it, though. I don't feel like, well, maybe they are. All right. Let me get the ham slice warming up real quick. My dog is going, all right. Here, let me go ahead and take this with me. Let me throw it in the water. Stella! Gotta love that. Well, that feels really weird. All right. I'll be right back. Grab a tray, grab a drink, and there is a ice cold 50-year-old 7-Up in a commemorative bottle. Tray's been dormant over here for a minute. There we go. Yeah, let's go with that. Look how cold. It does feel like it's actually pretty cold, and I put it in like right before I turned the camera on. Not long before. All right, cheese spread. You know, I hate to even open it up. Honestly, it's just much better off as a display item, because I can promise you I'm not going to eat it, and I can tell you exactly what it'll be like just based on how it feels. I've came across a few over the years that were edible. Oh my God. Just get out of the way. Done. Alright. My raccoons are being a problem for the dog. Not for me, but for the dog. Alright. I think I got that just about as good as it can get, honestly. Alright. Nut cake. Orange nut cake. And they even glue this in. I really still, to this day, don't understand the glue. I want to talk to my buddy at Natick and ask him if he can find out why they felt the need to glue these packages in, these tiny little boxes. There was no wiggle room in here at all anyways for this stuff to move around, but yet they still felt it necessary to glue it in. Oh my gosh. Stella, stop it. Put that there. Crackers, accessory packet, and our cocoa beverage powder. Let's take a look at our accessory packet. I usually cut them open. I'll continue. This one just doesn't have any air in it at all. It's like it got squished or something. There's a look inside. Smells good. Smells amazing, actually. There we go. First off, we got our gum. Chiclet style, we got the white, kind of yellowed. No cracking, though. Remind me, I'll try that out and see if it's any good. And we got our cream substitute dry non-dairy. We got our Stickney and Pour iodized salt, of course. Here's our blue toilet paper, 1984. Here's our matches that are black with white tips, strike on back. Of course, you know they're made by D.D. Bean and Sons. Look at that right there. D.D. Bean and Sons. That's right. We got a little packet of sugar, 6 grams of it, which is actually enough for the cup of coffee. And the classic coffee instant, 2.2 grams net, and this has the ascorbic acid. Fantastic coffee. I have really been contemplating trying to recreate this and start my own brand of coffee. And I think I would just call it coffee instant. I don't know how well that would do, but I think it might do okay. I'm so accustomed to it. I don't know if it's really an acquired taste or if it's really as good a coffee as I think it is. I guess I'd have to ask, I'd have to try it out on my mom. That's a good idea. I will take some to my mom tomorrow and see if she likes it. I did not hear a hiss. They smell all right. They smell good. I don't know if that's salt or flour. That is flour. That is not salt. Actually, maybe that is salt. Hang on. I'm going to get some of them crumbs out of the bottom right there. And try that. See if it's salty. No, it's not. It's got a fantastically baked flavor to it, though, man. That's really, really toasty. You know how, like, you get that caramelization with the toast when it gets toasted? These were toasted like a nice, perfectly done piece of toast. Very, very good. Take a look at this orange nut cake now. I'll just cut this open as well. May as well. Is there a date? Yep, 4163. So 163rd day of 84. Oh, there it is. Nice and shiny. Oh my gosh. That smells so weird. It smells like an orange flavored Play-Doh is what it smells like. It's really got a Play-Doh factor to it. Hang on a second. Here, smell this for me. Tell me what it's. Ham slice is done. Hot water's here. I'll set the ham slice right there. She said she thought it smelled like ranch and garlic. I don't get that, but it just smells like citrusy and like it's almost got kind of a lemon scent to it. Even though it's supposed to be orange, it does remind me of lemon. There it is in all its glory. All of its shininess, all those oils. Look at that thing. I think you could signal for rescue with that thing. Look at that. Hey, I'm over here. Oh, man. But it does have I don't know, it's got a weird smell to it. I associate it with kind of like a Play-Doh scent. But that's just my I guess take on what it smells like. And then it does have more of a lemon twist to it than it does have an orange scent to it. I don't know, it smells like essential oil that's orange. Very concentrated. Yeah. It doesn't smell bad, it just doesn't smell good either. That's how I would describe it. Alright, let's get the ham slice. Well, let's do the cocoa beverage powder. We're going to do the Delicious Cup. Go to Delicious MRE on YouTube and watch his MRE reviews, because he comes up with some good stuff before anybody else gets their hands on it. Where he's over in Poland. Definitely no date code on the cocoa beverage powder. I wish. Look at that. I mean, I could already tell it was perfect just by the way it felt. I love eating just the powder too. It's so good. It's like powdered chocolate candy. I could easily eat that whole pack. The level of sweetness is like perfect. It's not overly sweet. There's just the right amount of chocolate to it, to where it's not, I don't know, like I'm not a big huge fan of Hershey's, because I just feel like it's so overbearing, the flavor, especially the unique chocolate flavor that they have. There's a lot of powder in there, actually. 1.5 ounces of powder. Pretty substantial amount, actually. We'll give that some water. That's probably enough. Get the spoon opened up and show you what I'm talking about. Look at that. It's got like a pearlescence to it. These things are extremely good quality. They a little bit see-through, but they will last, I would say, more or less forever. And they have been certified used as a weapon before. This one in particular is quite sharp and would easily, very easily cut somebody, actually. I mean, I don't know how deep that would go, but if you, I feel like it's got a little flexibility to it, but if you had to, I feel like you could get some work done with that thing if you needed to. All right, give it a little stir here. What's going on, Ryan Smith? How you doing, man? I got to start streaming over on TikTok as well, because I haven't done anything on TikTok over there, but I feel like this would be something fun to do over there, just at the same time as I'm doing these ones. Okay, that had a spider in it. All right, there's our, this is actually a Navy, this is off a Navy ship. Kenro, is that what this is? K-E-N-R-O, Kenro. Huh. Melmac is what that's called, just like Alf's home planet of Melmac. There we go. All right, ham slice it up. 40-year-old ham slice. Juicy. Oh, and it's in pieces. Nice. Very nice. All right. I think before I ruin my palate with savory stuff, and I hate to mess up this 7-Up lid, or this top. I don't have a choice though. Let's see if we get a hiss. Yes, we did. I like to work my way around like this, and eventually it should pop off. Ooh, that doesn't look very good, does it? Not at all. What in the world? Oh man, what is that? Okay, that the lid did say 7-Up, but why is that in there? What is that? Huh. Kind of, oh wow. A lot of discoloration around the rim too. It was still air sealed, I think. That's like rust or something. I don't know what that is. It smells like rust. It smells like metal. That's weird that it done that though. Just in that one little spot, not the whole thing. And that's kind of like, I don't know, kind of sticky-ish. You can see it kind of wanting to peel off there. I do not know what that is. Yeah, the plus 5 rads. I hear you. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Put my can opener up. Take a look at this. Oh, there's some discoloration there. Has this got chunks in it? Yeah, maybe a little bit. All right, let's do this. All right, here we go. Some 7-Up. Kind of has a little bit of a, like a wine cooler smell to it. That's how I would describe it. It's got a, I mean, it's got the lemon lime kind of. It's not strong. It's pretty, the scent, the smell coming off of it's pretty weak. There we go. Down the hatch. Nice cold 7-Up that's 50 years old. It's not carbonated. This one isn't. That sucks. It does taste like some metal. It looks like the lid was compromised or something. Now that I'm looking at it with the lid off of it, I can see all the way around it there is these black outlines of where the lid was on it, and you can kind of see it looks like where air was getting up through there. It's weird because whenever you guys heard it when I first popped it, it's not a lot, but it was still there. Which typically when I hear that, when that happens, it'll still be at least somewhat carbonated. This one is not, but it doesn't taste bad. It does taste like the sugar has spoiled or something. Like there's something spoiled in it. It's got a little bit of a bitterness to it too. I don't know what that is. It doesn't taste bad though. I will say that. But it doesn't taste good. It's certainly drinkable. So let's do that. We're just going to drink it with the meal. Here, we'll flip it around to this side now. Ham slice. Let's eat it while it's hot. Ooh, it's kind of looks like a gelatinous mess of compressed together pieces of ham. Yep. Alright, I'm going to try that piece first. Not the best looking. It looks like it's got some fat going on around the outside of it, but down the hatch. Okay. Very salty. Very hammy. I mean, it does have a great ham flavor to it. My only complaint is it's got a metallic flavor that's going along with it that I'm going to assume is probably because I left it in this in the hot water for too long. That would be my guess, because there's no numbing so far. There's no numbing effect to it. Now I've had a first bite like that, and I've not had any weird side effects or numbing of my tongue or stinging or anything like that. And then take a second bite, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. So, investor is 7-Up wine. Yeah, that's a good. It does have kind of a. It does have kind of a fermented twist to it. All right, we're going for a big bite. Let's just. Man, that metallic flavor is pretty pronounced. I don't know if maybe there's like some leftover metallic flavor coming from the drink also, or if it's just all in the ham. I don't know. We'll find out with the second bite, I guess. It's nice and warm. Man, is it salty. That is good ham, though. I'm not a big fan of ham. At the holidays, I'm a turkey guy. When it comes to Thanksgiving or Christmas, whenever we have the big family dinners like that, I'll typically avoid the ham because I just feel like ham doesn't have usually not enough flavor. Every once in a while you get a good ham that's really flavorful. This is what I wish ham was like all the time. It's really that good. I mean, I don't know if it's from sitting in the package for so long, marinating in the juices, or if the ham was just that much better back then. I really don't know why it's so much better. This is so much better than most of the hams that I've ever had cooked fresh. It's really quite tasty. Here, I want to have some cracker with it. I'll just try just the cracker to begin with here, which I kind of already did that. You can see it's not salty though. Like 80, 81, 82, they were extremely salty, and a different cracker too. Like they were They had really heavy divided score lines on them. They looked more like a saltine and probably, I would argue, taste a little more like a saltine. These are different. These are a more savory cracker, I feel like, with a really nice toasted aspect to it. All right. With the cracker, I feel like this is going to be perfect. Those really do mix well together. The flavor of the cracker kind of dulls down the saltiness of the ham, which it kind of needs, because I'm telling you, I could dump salt on this and it would taste the same. Just about. It's so salty. It's good, but it's so salty, man. I'll get a big old bite of it here. Just put that right there on the cracker. Down the hatch it goes. Yeah, that's this is worthy of eating it all. French style ham. Investor says I've got to try French style ham. Is that an aged ham? I've been wanting to try one of them really old hams that they got hanging over there. I think it's in France somewhere. Maybe it's in Italy. There are some fattier chunks in here, which I do not want to have anything to do with. Take that out there. Yeah, not looking forward to eating any of the fat. So I'm sure I'll end up eating some of it anyway. Amber, you want to try this ham? Amber, you want to try this ham? I knew the answer before I even asked, but thought I should. Look at that. Look at the grain of the meat. I mean, that's just a chunk of ham that was, I guess they shredded it and into pretty big chunks, because look at that. Like that's still together as a chunk. Good looking piece of ham. All right, I'm gonna chow down for a minute. I'm just gonna eat it. Hope for the best. Definitely gonna send my blood pressure up because of all the salt. Super tender too. You can literally cut it with the spoon. Like, look at that. And with ease. It's very tender. And I do think that probably has something to do with it sitting in its own juices for the last 40 years. Then again, maybe it was always like this. I don't know. I'd have to show this video to an old timer that had one when it was super fresh. Which I don't think that needed to come out. Here we go. All right. Big bite. Down the hatch. The cake looks like it could give you a disease for eating it. Yep, it's definitely an ugly thing. That's for sure. They did not look much different 40 years ago when they were new, though. The nuts weren't as dark in them, but outside of that, they look pretty much the same. They've never been the best thing in the world, the nut cakes. I like the fruit cake, but the consensus from all the guys that I talked to that used to have these hated the nut cake, and they would literally chuck the nut cake out into a field, wherever they were at. They would just get rid of them. They didn't like them that much. I happen to like it. But I like fruitcake. I do know a lot of people don't like fruitcake, so it just happens to be something I like. I don't like the traditional, I guess the straight up traditional fruitcake, like the gelatin in it or whatever, like Jello. I don't know, like fruit snack pieces in it. That's not as good as something that has actual fruit chunks in it. I think the last time I had one of these, it hurt my throat. Can't remember. Yes, Investory, don't forget to hit the thumbs up or down. Either way, just give Google that feedback that they love to have. Thank you for reminding me. Don't cost you a dime, that's right. And Google doesn't care if you give it a thumbs up or a down, so neither do I. Either way, feedback is good. You know, I watch these people on the internet come across all the time, daily probably, as I'm clicking through stuff. People that will say things that they know are wrong, or do something that they know is ridiculous and just they're doing it incorrectly, just to make people comment negatively. And it does stir up comments and maybe dislikes. I don't know about the dislike thing, because of course Google hid the dislike after Joe Biden's video got extremely disliked there a few years ago. And ever since then, now we can't see the dislikes. And I know there's a way that you can download something to see the dislikes or something. There's a way to do it. I haven't done it, though. I haven't messed with it. I can see my own. Man, that's salty. Especially the brine. That's like drinking salt water. It's so thick. With the salt. Alright, I better take a break on that. The crackers are salty also in their own way. They're actually pretty salty. When I just bit into that, the dust from biting into it hit my tongue and the side, my cheeks, and it tasted, salt. That's all I really picked up on first. Wash it down with some 50-year-old 7-Up. See, I don't know. You can see, look, I just rubbed a bunch of it off, but you can see there's lines right there. I'm sure there's more, but see that? Looks just like the lid. Something compromised it. I don't know if this thing got wet or I don't know what happened to it, but something compromised it at some point to where it didn't stay fully sealed. Excuse me. That tastes much weirder now. After, wow. Boy, that tastes spoiled. It tastes like rotten sugar, like spoiled. I don't know what else could be in this. Obviously, there's no ingredients list. I don't even know if I want to take another drink of it. It certainly does have that wine cooler-esque type of flavor and aftertaste. And even while I'm drinking, it's like, I don't know, it's got that weird bitterness to it also that's going on. I'm not a fan of this at this point. I hope one of the other ones is better than this, because I will try more. And the next one, I'm going to look the bottles over really good and see if I can't find one that looks like it. Maybe it's not as compromised as this one was. Oh. I probably shouldn't have done that with my t-shirt. Just want it to be clean before I go mixing up this cocoa beverage powder with it. All right, I want to give this a try first, just because, wow, that's hot. That's really weird after just having a cold drink of the 7-Up. Yeah, I did that wrong. I shouldn't have done that. Yep. Okay, orange nut cake. I don't know if that's an air bubble or what. Let's find out. Is that like a chunk of... What is that? Oh yeah, that is a chunk of orange. Okay, so that's a piece of like whatever they flavored this with fruit wise. There we go. Look at that. That's like that stuff that they put in the fruit cakes, like I was saying. Look at that. I'm gonna try that just on its own, just that little piece right there, because I'm curious to see what that tastes like. That tastes like... Have you guys ever seen Orange Pledge? I have some in there under my counter right now. That's what it tastes like. It tastes like that smells. It's sweet to a... Yeah, it's barely sweet. Let's call it that. And it's got like... very, very much like a fruit snack. Like a more of a stiffer fruit snack, though. Alright, well, that's... A little hangy off thing is quite encouraging, isn't it? Take a bite of that. Just go ahead and eat it. Here, you guys can have the first real bite. Here, you go ahead. All right, here we go. Oh boy. Awesome. My entire mouth is coated with a greasy film. My cheek is completely numb. My teeth feel like they've been rubbed with a stick of butter. It's so weird that when the oils go rancid to the extent that these are, there's some very strange side effects to that happen inside your mouth. Now, you could probably eat about half of that and end up with a moderate stomach ache, but it tastes so bad. It's the side effects make it taste bad. The flavor's not that bad. The cake part itself is not bad at all. It's actually pretty pleasing, the cake. And there's a lot of the fruit chunks in this for some reason. It's just like the most fruity, the most chunks of that fruit stuff in a nut cake that I've had. Because I had like 2 big chunks of it in that bite that I just took. But this is no good. This is no good. How did that go? Like how did that fit on there? Like this? Huh. I guess that's what I ate. It's weird enough. All right. Huh. Let's see if this can help get that coating out of my mouth and that stinging underneath. Underneath my tongue, by the way, is a stinging, almost like heat sensation. It's very strange. This doesn't go very well with the orange either. But it's so good. This cocoa beverage powder is perfect. Perfect amount of sweetness, perfect amount of chocolate. Nice and hot. This is like the perfect cup of cocoa beverage powder. I've got a family reunion tomorrow, and I think I'm going to take this to my mom tomorrow. I'm sure I've got more of them somewhere. I just don't know where right off the top of my head. But I'm going to have her try this and film her reaction to this coffee instant, and just to see what she thinks about it. I might just post it on my channel unedited as my mom tries coffee instant. It's just regular coffee instant, but it feels like it's a good pack. It is. So it should be up to snuff. All right. Well, that's definitely my favorite thing. the ham slice is really good too. Crackers are good. The cheese spread was hard as a rock. It would have tasted like gym socks, dirty feet, BO is the flavor. So it tastes the way it smells. And then the peaches were bad, unfortunately. They had either were packaged poorly or got a pinhole compromised somewhere. I would say that it was a packaging issue. But so when you squeeze it, it's just not really necessarily a gummy-like feeling, but it's got some give to it. There's no crunchiness to it. I mean, they're guaranteed to be bad. I wish I had an entire crate of this vintage cocoa beverage powder. If I had like a MRE case, you know, like the size of an MRE case, just plumb full of cocoa beverage powders, which would probably be like 500 packets probably. I'd say you could probably fit 500 packets in there. Maybe more, maybe 1,000. I'd be a happy guy. Been seeing a lot of bunkers being built as of late, and I thought about maybe I should try to get a consulting job filling up these mega rich guys' bunkers with the right kind of food and provisions that they would want to have stored in there. Not that we're going to need them, but apparently they think we're probably going to need them. Okay, now I have not had one of these in, it's probably been a month and a half, 2 months, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I had one of these Pall Malls that Delicious sent me. I I believe these ones came... I don't know if these are Polish or not, but man, they're additive free, which means that they should be a nice clean tobacco. Legit the best Pall Malls best modern Pall Mall that I've ever had. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 9 left. All right, I'm gonna have one. Thanks to Delicious for providing these for me and being so gracious that I get to experience these international smokes like this. I've also got up here another pack of Pall Malls right here. I'd have to look at his list that he sent me. I can't remember if these came from like Denmark or something, or maybe it was wasn't Germany, but it was can't remember right now. But these are by far, not by far, these are my favorite ones I've tried. And I've got other packs that he sent me that I've got to open up one at a time of special international packs that I would never be able to touch. He also sent me some vintage smokes that are amazing. Pack of World War II smokes that were only made for a short time in Poland. Man, it's hard. It's almost the perfect filtered cigarette. There are better non-filtered out there, non-filtered cigarettes, but this is right on the verge of being. Now that's a personal opinion type thing, but I don't think I could change anything about this to make it better. Say what now? What are you talking about, Ryan? Most people don't even know it's a risk, but it's full body rigor mortis for months if you survive. What are we talking about? Are we talking about botulism? Oh, no, tetanus. Oh, okay. Tetanus has been on the rise, really, because people haven't been getting their tetanus shots. I'll be daggone. Yeah, tetanus is something that's absolutely horrible if you get it, and it's something that you have to catch like super early to even survive, if I'm not mistaken. BTemple, I will hit you. Well, you know what? I don't know. The last time I tried Slack, it would not let me in. Let me go on my old device and see. I think this is the one I tried on. I think Slack disappeared for me. Let me try. It's good to see you in here, BTemple, by the way. It's good to see you, man. Slack. I know I've been off here for a minute. Well, just last week. I didn't live stream last week. I haven't had electricity to do a proper live stream. Update the Slack app. Okay. I can do that. Not compatible with this device anymore. Contact the developers for more information. That's what I thought. Come on, man. Open. Alright, so it's not going to work there. Let me try it on this one. I think it did the same thing to me on this one. Right there it is. The Discord issue. Wait, what's the Discord issue? My kid can fix it in 5 minutes. Maybe. Let me, I don't think do I have the Discord app even on this phone? I don't know if I do. I do. Weird. I bet this is my son's old phone, and I didn't have an Apple for forever. I just started using the Apple maybe year and a half ago, probably. And I just took over his phone because mine got destroyed. And a lot of his old apps are still on here because I didn't get rid of them. I mean, it's weird. We kind of reset the phone. We kind of didn't. All right, where's Discord at? What was I going to do with Discord? I can't remember. Update your Slack or uninstall and reinstall. Well, it says it's not compatible with that device anymore, is what it says. Contact the developer for more information. Oh, seeing if any Canadians want some, since shipping would be easy. Wow, Suburban. Bourbon Street, huh? Oh, wait, there, he's here. Wait, yeah, Bourbon. Selling most of... Oh, you're selling most of your collection, is what it sounds like. Getting out of the game, huh? You got a pretty extensive collection, if I'm not mistaken. And with the way prices are right now, dude, like you should do well. You should do well. I don't know how it is up in Canada, obviously, like, cause I don't live up there. I mean, I see some things on eBay that are Canadian and have Canadian listings that still, I guess, are available to Americans somehow. But very rarely do I ever see anything like that. Well, we'll see you later, Investory. Wait a minute. Before you leave, what am I supposed to do with the Discord? I don't remember what I was supposed to do. Because I just updated it. It's right here. See, look, I've never even been in it. Welcome to Discord. So I'll have to register and log in. Just get it to work. Okay. So I'll go through the login process and register, and I'll put it on my actual device that I use daily, which is the one I'm streaming with right now. If it wasn't for the custom thieves, I'd buy a couple from you, but more unique gear items you have. If it wasn't for the customs thieves, I'd buy a couple from you. Wait, what's Bourbon saying? Most things don't ship to Canada. Oh, I know. Yeah, most things from down here, people won't ship up to Canada. It's... Yep. I do have one really unique Canadian thing that I got probably 3 or 4 years ago. It's a World War II. It's got the tins of the chocolate and the like little square cookies in it. I think there's like 12 of those in there. There's like 4 things of water in there, and then there was supposed to be sheets of like candy or something, and they're missing. But it's in this big, what looks kind of like an ammo can, not really, but kind of like an ammo can, and the lid comes up off of it like that. I haven't seen that thing in like a couple years. I don't even know where it's at right now. All right, I will get Discord going. I'm going to leave that open on here just so I don't forget. Oh yeah, Slack. Hang on, let me see if I can get into Slack on here. So I have to come back and reopen that. Where's my Slack at? Right there. So I've been completely kicked out. Continue with Google. I'll continue with my email. See if that'll even get me close. Okay, it sent me an email. Okay, that's weird. Let me just go out and go to my email. There it is. Well, I haven't opened my email in a minute. Confirm email address. Hopefully. Okay, good. It looks like. There it is. I'll be daggone. I thought I had to have a password or something. Hey, there's Elandil. Hey, man, it's cool to. I didn't think I could get back in on here, actually. Very good. Well, that's weird. The John Candy, Jim Carrey's, he's got a picture of it. Somehow earlier today, I ended up watching a whole bunch of like old Chris Farley stuff. I don't know, and obviously the old SNL guys were doing a lot of the talking about him and stuff like that. It was just weird. I got this weird nostalgic feeling. And then I tried to call Smoke, which is the special effects director for SNL. Haven't done a review in over a year. Working the kids a million activities. I just don't have enough time to devote to it like I do. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I wouldn't stop if it. But I mean, if you want to like get rid of the collection, I get it. Robo tripping. Can you look into the camera? That's a little weird. I don't know. They've always been that color. I happen to have on blue today, which I usually don't. I usually wear dark colors like heather gray or black. That's usually my standard garb. Storm Tracker, hey everybody, been a good day. Gotta go. See you later, Storm Tracker. Thanks for stopping in. Picked this up in Hawaii. It was it's like an old, I think it's got an old date on it. I want to say it's like 2022 something. I don't know. It was old. It was $5. We went to some barbecue that was next to our hotel, next to a military museum in Honolulu. I went in there and talked to those guys about doing a ration display, and they were kind of weird about it. They were real weird about it. But they had these glass display cases when you first came in the building, and they would do like temporary exhibits. And they were like, we can set you up with one of these. And I was like, a temporary? And I was like, I think you guys should incorporate some rations into some of your displays in here. I think with a little more time talking to those old timers, you could probably talk them into doing it. But what'd Bourbon say? Do you have the email? He said no. Bourbon, are you not on Slack? You should get on Slack, Bourbon. Oh man. Yeah, I wish I had 100 of these at least. You definitely can't buy anything like this. Nothing matches it. I've tried, trust me. Slack and idle. Slack and idle. Never be able to review everything in the collection. Yeah, dude, yeah. If I was to liquidate the stuff that like I knew that I'd never get to, and kind of keep the higher tiered stuff that I should review, stuff that I feel like is, and I just look. It would take me so long anyway. I've got to go through everything I've got to go through from top to bottom. I don't. It kind of, my collection is probably a little out of control. There's probably a few people in the same situation that I'm in that I can think of right off the top of my head, with lots of food. And I got to the point where like I also wanted to pick up food that is fresh, just in case we were to ever need it, me and my family. And then I would say, if something was to happen and we had to live off of the food that I have, my older son come down here, and there was 4 of us. Now I'm talking rationing. Now we're talking maybe eating 800 calories a day, 700 calories a day. Let's just go with that. We'd probably have enough food to last. And I'm going to cut out like the really old vintage stuff that I know that they wouldn't want to eat, which they might have to, because a lot of it's still got a lot of value nutrition wise, and it's still edible. I mean, as you guys just saw, I'd say we could probably get by for easily 4 to 6 months, I would say. So if that gives you any idea, I have a lot of food. A lot of food. I spent a lot of money on food. Just nickel and dimed it, really, too. Just not like any huge purchases or anything. I did make a couple large purchases, and it's stuff that would fall into the category of, I would hope, still being fully edible, vintage yet still fully edible, that I definitely need to get to. And I got a case. I got 2 MCI cases that I want to get opened up. I have a 1962 or 61, I can't remember, 61 or 62 case, and then I have a 1958 case, a first year case of MCIs, but it's not a full case, and it's a weird sized case. 1958, I have never dug into it yet, but it's very strange. It's the only one I've ever seen. It's really unique. I mean, I've got some pictures of it that I could share, but that's about it. I don't have it out to where I could get to it. Yeah, I wouldn't mind starting to freeze dry stuff. I'd like to get a freeze dryer and start freeze drying stuff. I had really hoped that I was going to be moving into a new house, but I don't even like to talk about it, because I've talked about it before. I've been very close to the point where I had a contract drawn up. I was standing in the lawyer's office, and that ended up not happening that day, and just kind of a bummer. And then I made an offer on a house the other day. Actually, I made the offer like 2 weeks ago, but yeah, it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like it's going to happen, because the seller's expectations are extremely high compared to what it is and what what they're ultimately going to be able, unless they find like the perfect out of town buyer that's like a multi-millionaire that comes in and wants to buy up a piece of property to come to stay in West Virginia. That's the only way I see that place selling. After 3 days of fasting, not even hungry anymore. That's what happens. Everybody thinks that you gotta eat not everybody, but a lot of people think that you gotta eat daily. You gotta have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Fasting's actually really good for you. I started intermittent fasting, how long has it been? Maybe 9-10 months ago, maybe a year ago. I don't know how long it's been. Haven't kept track, but I know my health has certainly improved since then. Definitely gotten better. An edible ham and lima beans. Absolutely not. The best ham and lima beans that I have ever seen was one that I had. And luckily, it did get documented. And you can go over on Steve's channel and find it. It's probably, man, 7-8-year-old review now. Wow. It's probably at least that old. But I don't know how it used to be. He had it titled like ham and I want to. It wasn't. He didn't have it titled ham and lima beans. He had it titled something. The video titled like ham and baby. I can't. You get what I'm saying. It used to be titled differently. I don't know what it's titled as now. I'm sure I could look it up and find it. But that's the best ham and lima beans MCI that I have ever seen. And again, usually they don't hold up. Usually they don't hold up like the one that I had. The one that I had, I believe it was a 62 or a 63. And he asked, I think he was looking for a MCI that he hadn't reviewed that looked like it was in good shape. Which, I mean, it had the cheese spread in it, in the B unit. In the B unit, I don't even think it was bloated, but the cheese spread did end up being bad, obviously. I have come across the cheese spread, though, that was edible. So that there's that. When I fast during Ramadan, I eat before first light and nothing until just after sunset. Is that 6? I think you just meant sunset. Once you get in the routine of it, you just get used to it. Yeah, I don't think it's really all that big a deal, honestly. Like, most of the time, I don't feel like I'm hungry anyways. A lot of times I eat out of boredom or something stupid. Like, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen that. Take the vitamin K and D3, I think it is, and that'll help reduce your cravings for sweet stuff. I've been taking D3 since probably 2020, 2021. Probably late 2020. Because after I had COVID back in March 2020, that was one of the things that they said that would help, and I started taking D3, and come to find out, I don't think my body's really able to absorb it. The best thing I can do is just get sunlight, go out and touch grass. I mean, ground myself as well. Have you ever come across raspberry jam? Not in an MRE, but I don't know if I got one up here or not. No. Dang. I forgot about even having that. Canadian IMPs have raspberry jam. And right here is a cranberry. I forgot that I even had this vintage thing. This is from 2006. Of 2006 IMP. And I also have a honey sitting up here. And this is pure, raw, real honey. It has actually solidified since I took it out of the pack. All you gotta do is warm it up though, and it'll go right back to its honey consistency. That's the best way to describe it. I thought I had a raspberry sitting up here, but yes, there is raspberry jam in Canadian IMPs, and it is the bomb. It's amazing. Yeah, that's an oldie up there, man. And the cranberry, I feel like that's pretty rare. I feel like that's probably why I kept it. And I think this came out of one of the ones that was like a holiday, kind of like a holiday menu, one that you would eat on Thanksgiving or Christmas time or something. Seems like. Can't remember where this one came out of. It came out of something like that though. But a cranberry one is interesting. Maybe I didn't even recognize the rarity of that, or how weird it is to see a cranberry one. Maybe because I was just associating it immediately with raspberry. And this honey is 06 as well. 305 and 310. So these probably came out of the same one. Because that's 305 and that's 310. The 310th day, 305th day. of 2006. So, dang, man. We're almost 20 years from 2006. Y'all believe that? My youngest son was born in 2004, and he is 20 years old. My youngest son is 20 years old. Let that sink in. Then I also have sitting up here, I don't know. I have, is this it? No, that's Wilbur. I have a Hershey's bar right there from an MCI. Can you guys see that right there? Hershey's Food Corporation. This thing is awesome. I did eat the other one. The other one that I had of this is just candy chocolate disc, sweet milk with almonds. It's got almonds in it. But the other one that I had that came out of that can that was Hershey's was perfect. I ate the entire thing. I remember eating it, and I remember saving the wrapper. I thought the wrapper was right here somewhere as well, but I'm not seeing it. Huh. Anyway, that's a cool thing that I got sitting there. Got the Death Nuts here, Johnny Scoville. This thing's vintage itself. Now it's got this is probably 5-6 years old now, and Johnny's been on a tear of doing really well. Really like Johnny Scoville. Really seems like a really decent guy. I'd like to meet up with him one of these days and hang out with him, but I cannot hang with the whole eating the spicy stuff, man. I've had pancreatitis twice. I do not want to do anything that could trigger that ever again. Ever. It's some of the worst pain that you can put yourself or go through. I mean, and I guess it took me a long time to really look into and understand what pancreatitis was, and that's basically your body not breaking food down and becoming toxic with the food inside of it. And looking back at when this happened to me and what was going on and what I was doing, I was on a ton of different medications from different doctors. One doctor, I was on 9 different medications. Another one, I was on I don't know how many others. And I can only theorize that was killing my entire gut flora. And I was probably on antibiotics at the time, killed my gut flora, and just tore me up. Most chocolate, especially fudge or chocolate-covered items, turn hard as a rock as they age. I have not had that experience, actually. A lot of times with the chocolates or anything that's chocolate that's in a ration, if it gets hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold, and it goes through the blooming process, it becomes what I'd call it dusty. It becomes very powdery in its consistency, depending on the chocolate. If the chocolate is a tropical style that's got it's got a higher temper, like the temperature that they tempered it at was above 100, which is about where they try to temper like a tropical chocolate at, then it usually holds up really well, and it doesn't really change at all when it comes to that. Most MREs, IMPs, chocolate turns into concrete after a while. Yeah, it's definitely not the experience that I've had. Now, like a coffee crisp will get extremely stale. I'm not gonna say never, but I rarely will find a coffee crisp out of an IMP that's fresh. Usually they're a level of stale, if not extremely stale, like a spongy stale. What else is in those? There's, in the newer ones, there's coffee crisp, and what else? The big Kit Kats, which the big Kit Kats hold up really well, and I have a feeling that the big Kit Kats that they have in there, I don't foresee them. Those will age very well. Let me just put it that way. Those I don't think will be in much harm. Remember the Life Draft ration I reviewed, and the Hershey's Tropical Bar. it was powder. But yes, I've had that happen multiple times. BTemple said that he remembers reviewing a life raft ration, which I think it was a World War II life raft ration, one of the gray ones. I've got one that is straight up museum quality. I got extremely lucky, and I got the World War II. I don't know what it's going to look like on the inside. It could. I hope it's really good. But I got the matching water tin that has the water in it, and I got the life raft ration. And the one that BTemple had, he said he'd reviewed it, and the Hershey's tropical bars were basically, they basically blew up in his hand, and they were like powder. And I've had that more often than I've had them be in good shape. If they were to melt and then reform, we would be better off. But they don't. When they melt, it's just kind of like they start separating. Like the molecules inside of it just start to separate. Obviously, the bloom happens. They swell, which the package typically rips open, which isn't holding anything together anymore, and you get this explosion of chocolate powder when you get into those. And I mean, it doesn't taste bad. I've eaten plenty of that powder, and it tastes just fine. It tastes like chocolate, but it just isn't in the form that you would like for it to be. From Steve, where he had a fudge that was hard as a rock. A fudge. Oh, okay. So what you're talking about are the fudge discs. You got coconut discs, you got fudge discs, and that's pretty much it. There's a coconut disc and a fudge disc, and then there's just a... Well, that's the fudge one. Anyways, yeah. So those things will... Those and the brownies, the chocolate-covered brownies, get as hard as a rock. Just like the one that's going to be in here. Yeah, brownies, chocolate covered. Those exact brownies, they're almost like trying to chew on and eat a piece of concrete. They're awful. Used to, when a cigarette would light like that halfway, used to say that meant somebody loved you. Weird. That's something I haven't thought about in many years. The fudge is definitely a different recipe. Okay, so the fudge discs and the coconut discs and the chocolate covered brownies and the oatmeal cookies chocolate covered, they all have a very similar outside coating on them. Even the fudge disc. The fudge disc has like a layer on the outside of a chocolate coating, but it's waxy. And I think it's waxy for the reason of it not melting all the way through. But those things just don't age well. I have had good ones, but it's extremely rare. I would say, I mean, if I was to guess, probably just by luck, maybe 1 in 100 of the fudge discs will be good. The coconut ones, I've had one that was more or less as good as it could possibly be. And then I've had other ones that were decent and edible. But most of the coconut discs are like a throat burning. The coconut, man, I guess it's because of the fats in the coconut oils. It burns the crap out of your throat, and it's got a really like stingy bitterness to it. It's got a sting to it, like acidity, like a sticking your tongue on a 9-volt battery type deal. Wait, Frosty, have you been in here? I just now looked down and seen you. I thought I was talking to Frosty earlier. Was I not? had an incredibly rancid Bounty bar in an IMP once. The coconut was horrible. It's weird what happens to coconut. I really don't 100% understand if it's got something to do with the coconut oil, the fats in it that go rancid. But like I said, I mean, usually if the coconut goes really bad, like the ones that are in MCIs, like the coconut discs, it kind of is like putting your tongue on a 9-volt battery. It's weird. Got bit by something. Now check this out. BTemple. This is why I haven't had any electricity. I'm so lucky that my house didn't burn down. I mean, look at that. I think that used to be two wire nuts, although it could have just been one, and it has melted and separated. I don't know, because it looks like that should have only had one wire nut on it. Those were the two neutrals. Or actually, those might have been the two hots. Anyway, that's why I haven't had electricity. It's crazy. But again, super lucky that it didn't burn my house down. So the guy, God rest his soul, that put this house here, that originally lived in this, that put this house here, that was the original, well, the owners, that I didn't end up buying it from them. I had to buy it from their daughter because both of them passed away a couple of years ago, within 2 days of each other. First, his wife passed, which was my other landlord, Vonna. She died on Tuesday. Her mom died on Wednesday. He died on Thursday. And then my good friend hung himself on Friday. Anyway, David was somewhat of a jack of all trades. Okay, he would do anything, any type of work around the house. He was known as being a really good mechanic, and he had my garage that's outside used to be a business. It's got a car lift in it that goes, the huge hydraulic cylinder that goes down on the floor. Well, anyway, at some point they changed the layout of this house, and they did away with like a island or something. There was something in the kitchen in there that they did away with. They redone this center wall that runs down the hallway. They built this room back here. This used to all be open. That used to not be there, that room, because they had to make an extra bedroom for the girl that we grew up with, Cody. But when they done all this, I'm assuming, based on what I've seen now, that they did some rewire. Well, they added some electrical somewhere, and looks like they might have got into like tapping into the original electric, because my house, whereas I thought it was all that old aluminum wire like I just showed you, no, it's got copper in it. There's like I'm going to say 30 to 40% of it, 35% of it's all copper. And then the main leads that come into the house off the power line are all aluminum, big aluminum. That was probably done in the late 70s, probably. Well, no, it could have been done up into the 90s, I would say. We moved in here in 2009. Somebody else lived here for a few years. Let's see. It could have been done, yeah, it could have been done late 90s at the latest, at the earliest, I guess. Or it could have been in there way back. But what was, whenever I figured out what was going on and found where it was bad, and I pulled the wires out, whenever he wired that up, he stripped about that much wire back. Okay? Way too much. And then when he wire nutted it off, there was about that much wire, bare wire, still sticking out from the wire nuts. And then he took all the wires that he just wired together with all that bare wire sticking on it of them and just shoved them into a junction box in the wall and put the cover on it. At some point, they had vibrated close enough. They were always close together, obviously, but they were close enough to where they started arcing together. And when it starts arcing like that, it's going to start pulling itself together from the electricity. Start pulling itself together, and then you have this until it finally decided that until it burned itself all the way through and would not function anymore. And I couldn't figure out where it was, like where the problem was, because I'll be checking the outlets, checking the switches, and there's power there, power there, power there, or there was no power. There was power in the outlets, and then there was no power to a light. I checked the switch was good. And the little panel thing was kind of hidden, and I honestly almost didn't even check it because I was like, it's just a junction box. There's nothing there. There's no outlet there. Like what? There's nothing there. Well, luckily, I kicked the breaker back on, and I was going around just testing to see where with the little tester to see where there was electricity at, and there was electricity at that junction box, but not at the switch. So it had to be there that it was stopping, and that's what I found. Again, lucky. I'm lucky that I still have a home. I've got to go through and check everything else. Like I'm going to have to go through and pull every single outlet, every switch, every light, just to check it over. And anything that he's got wired together, like he had that wired together with all that bare wire stripped back, I'm going to have to cut it back and wire net it off right. And then, like, you should never have bare wire sticking out below your wire nuts. Never. There's a video. The house I'm living in used to have cloth insulate. Yeah, okay, so I know they did away with that in like the 60s, I think. Maybe the 50s. But it's technically asbestos, but yeah, it's nothing major. I used to be a stripper, an abatement worker. There was a video about a building collapse in Taiwan where the building used cheap concrete and even put oil cans in the foundations. The quake brought the whole thing down almost intact. Really? All because they messed around on the most important part, the foundation? That's insane. Wow, it's almost 1 a.m. Well, good night, buddy, and I will get with you on Slack now that I have it. Let me go back to Discord and get that set up after I finish up here. Discord. I will log myself in because I know there's a lot of stuff that goes on Discord. I just don't understand Discord. I've never used it. Yeah, I know, Angel. I know it was. I was shocked when I first saw it. I was like, "What in the world?" I don't know how much wiring or where exactly he's had his hands on, and I'm going to have to go through because usually when someone wires something up like that, that's just how they do it. That's just that's their technique. They don't know no better, and that's what I'm just going to assume. So I'm going to have to go through and check everything. I'm going to have to go through and check everything. Anything. Yeah, Kalen, even if he had taped them, that would have been enough to keep it from arcing out. Most likely. Not guaranteed. Tape is definitely not the way you want to go. If you have anything else, if you can fix it without having to use tape, definitely you want to do that. But if you can't and you don't, at least throw some electrical tape around. At least throw some, give it some sort of insulation around there to insulate it from being able to arc out. And that's a simple, it's such a simple thing to do. Which, when I rewired it right. And I cut I don't know, I cut as much off as I could. Well, I didn't cut as much off as I could. I cut as much off as I needed to. I cut a little more off than what I probably needed to. But I mean, I went that far back, and it was still crunchy. Like, you could tell that it had worked its way back into the wire a good little ways. And then the insulation on the outside of the wire was melted to the wires. I had to go back a good ways and cut all that off just to be able to get to the point to where I could strip the wire back and then strip the wires off. And I strip about that much off the ends, throw a wire nut on there, and wire nut it up until I get about 2 twists around and get to the whole thing starts to twist. And then I throw a little electrical tape around it, and it's done. I used to be an electrician years ago. I'm not real comfortable with electricity. I never was. The first day that I stepped on a job as an electrician, number one, I had never been taught. I'd never had any classes. I'd never done anything. It was the first big job that I'd done right out of high school. I was still 17 years old whenever I left for this job in New York. We get there, and we go in, and there's guys there working with the crew. I can't remember the guy's name that we were there working for. Anyway, we get there. It was Hayden Electric, though. I remember the company. We get there, and it was all 277 hot. They refused to turn the electricity off because it was in a Stearns inside of a mall, and that Stearns was like an anchor store, but they would not turn the electricity off. And we were removing PCB ballast, those cancer-causing ballasts that are in old fluorescent lights. We were up there taking them off, and when you unwire them, you had to take the hot leads, the hot wires, and stick them through the wire nut each wire off. After you'd unwire it, after you take it apart, you take that individual wire, run the wire nut back on it, and stick it through a metal grate that was hanging down. Like you pulled the metal grate down, and it was hanging there, standing on the very top of a 12-foot ladder. So it must have been 16-foot ceilings, 20-foot ceilings, I don't know. I think they were 17 foot or something weird like that. But anyway, the first thing that I saw after I got there was a guy that I didn't know that was up on top of that 12-foot ladder who ended up grabbing both wires at the same time. And it blew him, I don't know, 15 feet off that 12-foot ladder. And when he landed on the ground, there was smoke coming out of the bottom of his shoe. I don't know if he had a nail in his shoe. I don't know. I don't know why it came out of his foot like that. But he never woke up. That guy never woke up not while I seen him. They took him away on a stretcher, and he was still unconscious. That was the first thing I saw the first day that I was on the job. And that has always stuck with me, to say the least. I mean, I worked as an electrician for years. I did it for, let's see, started in 2000. My last electrician job was probably 2004, maybe 2003, maybe 2004. I did it for at least 3 or 4, maybe 5 years, on and off. I mean, I worked on the road. It's insidious to shirk the safety of buildings to save a buck, especially apartments. Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially what they were doing wasn't really saving them any money. Let's talk about the corner that they cut there, only on the foundation and the concrete, and they were throwing oil cans and stuff in it. The stuff that they were doing, it was beyond negligible. That could be considered intentional, endangerment. Another video had a lady go to light her stove in a big apartment building. The blast blew her across the room, and one whole corner of the building came down, top to bottom. Holy wow, really? Just really poor construction. I know. See, now that's something I have seen something about, and I do believe it's China. where they've got such a population boom, or they had such a population boom, or something like that. They got so many people that they've had to rush building a bunch of structures, and a lot of those structures are subpar, to say the least. They're just really bad. I've seen videos of, I think it's China. There's a guy on YouTube that I watch on occasion. He's done a couple MRE reviews too, if I'm not mistaken. Him, and he's got a buddy over there that they ride motorcycles with on occasion. But I remember one video, they went to like this abandoned cityscape, and there was all kinds of buildings, like brand new buildings that were like leaning and nobody could live in. It's crazy, man. Like, take the time and the effort to build it correctly, or you just lost hundreds of millions and millions of dollars. I mean, it's just so stupid. Plainly Difficult is the channel for full details. The one that I'm talking about, or the one that you're talking? Is it the same one that I'm talking about as well? Is that cause careless or lousy construction and materials? Probably a little bit of everything. Plainly Difficult. Stop it. There it is. There it is. I will check that out. Yeah, obviously something wrong with the gas too to have such a leak, man. She's lucky she got blown to the other side of the building that didn't fall off, huh? Yeah, the one I'm referring to, I cannot remember the name of that channel. You know what? I'm going to look it up. This will be in my search results now, so let's see if I can figure it out. Come on. I don't know what to search for to find it. I can't remember the name of the channel. The guy, like Steve knew that guy, or that guy had tried to get a hold of Steve at some point. I remember watching a video of him and his girlfriend eating a meal cold weather, I believe it was. But I wouldn't know what to search. Anyway, I'll see if I can figure it out at some other time. Her bedroom came tumbling down. Had to have been conscious in there, and in there she would have been killed. The stove blast saved her life. That's what I was saying, yeah. Man, I caught a locust the other day that, look, I remember catching locusts when I was a kid all the time. We would catch locusts all the time. But this locust that I caught didn't look anything at all like the locust that I remember when I was a kid. Not at all. This thing looked like a reptilian, insect, alien looking thing. Great big eyeball sticking off the side of its head. That's not what the locust looked like when I was a kid. And I meant to search to see locust types. But I caught this thing and I thought it was injured and dead. But I put it in this container and I gave it some leaves to eat on, and I didn't see it moving. Then I came back to it and it had eaten some of the leaf, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe this thing is alive. And obviously it is. It ate something. And I'd mess with it. It would not move. It wouldn't make no noise. Wouldn't do anything. And it's cool in my house. You know, my air conditioning works great. I took it outside, let it warm up, and it started moving around. I thought, holy cow. So I put it on the fly swatter and I flicked it up in the air and it flew away. And then I had a honeybee come back to me today. I know it was coming back to me. So I've saved at least 3 honeybees from drowning in the cat's water outside. And I'll scoop them out of there and I'll take them up on the banister and get them out and let them dry out. And I'll take my pocket knife out and I'll get right up there and I'll separate their wings away from their back so that they can dry out. I'm real careful with it, real gentle. And today, right after I let that locust go, I turned around and there was a honeybee right there where I had, where I take them and let them dry out. And I had a honeybee, like one of those honeybees that I saved. It must have been in the water for a long time. It was exhausted. I could tell that it was exhausted. And I put it up there and helped it dry out. And it stayed out there for almost 24 hours on the porch, on the vertical support for the porch. And I watched it take off the next day. And today, when I turned around, I saw that honeybee there. And I thought, you know what? That's got to be one of the ones that I helped. Why else would it be right there? And it didn't fly away. Like, I got right up next to it and was like talking to it. Like, I know that sounds weird. I know how weird that sounds. but anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I have a feeling that it was one of those honeybees that I saved. All right, guys, I'm going to get off of here. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up or down. Thanks to my patrons. Thank you guys so much. Thanks to everybody who hung out. This is a good one. Good MRE. Lots of cool stuff. I'll be getting a corncob pipe. No button nose, though. But I'll get myself a pipe, a corncob pipe, most likely. So whatever I can find to try out this. I don't know how old this is. Anybody know a way that I could date this, like find out how old it is? I mean, it's got these 2 little indentations. I have a feeling that's nothing. That's absolutely nothing. But it's got those 2 little indentations right there. This Prince Albert metal tin. I mean, I guess it could be from the 80s because I think my great-grandparents, my great-great-grandparents were still buying these in the 80s. It seems like, I don't know how I could figure out how old this is, though. I'm super excited to have it, though. I am excited to have it. I think this is going to be some really unique tobacco experience contained in this tin. And I have another loose pack of tobacco right here that is cigarette tobacco. It's this Durham, and the tax stamp on this puts this at 1913, if I'm not mistaken. There's a date on here somewhere. Seven-eighths of an ounce of tobacco, smoking tobacco, W.T. Blackwell and Company, genuine Durham, trademark. Somewhere on here is a date. I can't remember where I seen it at, though. Maybe it's right here. Federal tax stamps, talking about the federal tax stamps. No. Anyway, the tax stamp I do believe puts it at, like, I want to say 1913. 1926. 1926. Okay. So that is from 1926. Nice little burlap sack with the rolling papers on it. It's pretty cool. It's really cool. Gabe hooked me up with that. gabeRILLA. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up, y'all. Again, thanks to my patrons. Thanks y'all for hanging out. And yeah, I'll see y'all on the next live stream. Probably, most likely next week. Later.